Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another edition of the Wizards Wednesday Rewind. We're back. I'm
Woo!
Adam.
I'm Mike.
Yeah, so we took a little bit of a break, summer travel. Also had to let the pocketbook recover from all the expensive $10 issues we were buying. But we are back. Here's the thing. We were not like avoiding the comic shops in the interim. Especially, Mike, you've gotten me hooked on checking out new comics now. And in the comics we were buying, I'm seeing these ads for things I want to buy, for things I want to read. And so I was like, I gotta go in, I gotta see if it's there, I gotta find it. So let me show you my first one that I picked up, and that is Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. Okay, so in that last Batman issue that I reviewed, where it was like the end of the failsafe saga, this was being advertised. There was like a 4-page preview. And of course, I have the Mike Mignola, Elseworlds one-shot deal. Who hasn't read that? I don't know if they've done a sequel to it already in the past, but it was cool to have this thing coming through. I think what surprised me the most is that it's a Catwoman story, at least for this issue. It's all about Selina Kyle, and Batman shows up at the very end, and it looks like it's kind of a handoff. Like maybe the next issue will be about him. But it
So
was
it's not Superman coming in.
well,
Like,
see, that's the thing, right? You expect there's going to be a Superman situation. There is a whole deal of like a meteorite of kryptonite crashing, and that's really what this is about, is that uh you have Selena Kyle, as Catwoman, getting this like Kryptonian ring, or at least it is a ring made of kryptonite somehow. So but
did did
yeah.
Mignola do all the art in the original one?
Do you think he only did the covers? Maybe. I
I
don't know.
can't remember. I'm
I know I haven't read it for a while either.
blanking.
I thought it
Yeah,
was a full production on his
I think it is too. But so how does this art compare, Adam?
Oh, I really it's stylized like I was showing here. It's got it's not hyper realistic. It's definitely got its kind of own. It's Victorian,
Moody.
so
Yeah.
they're kind of going with a little bit a more old school style. But I like it. Like, here's Batman getting into action at one point. So yeah, so I didn't find it distracting. I also like, because it's such a dark mood, I felt like it really fits. Like, there's a lot of shadow and stuff, and that can account for, if anatomy's kind of weird sometimes. You're like, oh,
Yes.
but I thought it was a real good little mystery. It's because it's just kind of like, okay, what is the story with this kryptonite? What are they going to do with it? What's the point? They haven't really revealed that yet. And then at the end, like I say, Batman comes in, and the reveal is for next issue. Talia al Ghul is mixed up in all this, Victorian Talia al Ghul. So let's see, you know,
Cool.
how she fits into it. So I thought it was a really great start. It's a meaty issue. There's a lot in there, I felt like. So I was glad to take a bite, and I will be back for issue 2. But what have you been reading?
I read Spider-Man Reign 2, but I left it upstairs because I just read it last night. Oh, good, you
Okay.
have it. You can share it. So I don't remember Rain 1. It is I read it when it came out, Adam, the first one, and I don't remember anything. But man, am I into this universe. I am sold. Like, if I had to compare, like, it's really weird. There's so many parallel universe Spider-Man stories floating around, but the most current are is Rain and Ultimate Spider-Man, and I have to say, Rain is so much better. Like, although it is only one issue in, I just feel like Ultimate Spider-Man's kind of petered off. Like the story kind of, but Rain has me hooked. Oh my God, Peter Parker is such a sad character. Just
Well, that's the thing.
pining.
Like, in the original, for those who don't remember, in the original, it's Peter Parker. He's an old man. MJ has died. He poisoned her by having radioactive blood, and so she died of cancer a long time ago. And he's not, he's working at a floral shop. He's not Spider-Man anymore. But then, like, there's all these machinations. There's some alien presence. Spoiler, it was the symbiotes. That were the Venom symbiote in particular was inviting all of them to come through a portal basically and invade New York. And so Spider-Man ends up getting back into action through Dr. Octopus's corpse, like is brought out of a grave by his arms and like delivers him all this stuff up in the costume. And anyway, there's a lot of fun things, but I felt like the original Reign was very slow. I really loved it, but it was super moody and kind of
Mhm.
like methodical. This first issue just takes you in like beat, beat, beat. Like, because at the end, Spider Man had defeated the bad guys, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. And then now you're like, wait, where is he? And where is he, Mike?
He is in like a Matrix style thing, living living
He's
the
in a
life he
virtual
was.
world. He's all hooked up to all these tubes
Yeah.
in some chamber. And you're like, who did this to him?
But okay, the thing and did you feel like this was like Spider-Man 2049? Like I feel like this is like Blade Runner meets Dune. Like even when we meet Kingpin, I'm like, he's Baron Harkonnen. Like he's just this massive hulking thing that like soaks himself in blood or something. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, they say, sorry to interrupt your bath. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like he's being pumped full of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it's super weird. The art is so dynamic. Care is it Care Andrews? Is that
Yeah, it
his
might be
name?
Care. I always say car, but it could be either
Yeah.
or
It just got me. It's so much happens, Adam.
yeah.
That is a great
That's what I'm
first
saying.
issue.
Like it's like plot point after plot point, but it doesn't feel rushed. It's like, oh, okay, I want to know this. Oh, you're giving me an answer. Thank you. You know, and then
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but then there's still mystery because they hint at like you don't know how he ended up connected to all those tubes and everything. Like
yeah.
they give a little piece, but it's there might be a flashback later. But then like yeah, he goes underground. He gets saved basically underground. First, he gets saved from the all the tubes and everything by what looks to be Black Cat's daughter.
That's what it seems. But it's also really gross because she kisses him and he's like, "Ooh, flesh. I haven't felt flesh." in
Well,
so
it's because he's always dreaming about kissing MJ. And she's like, this should get the juices flowing. Mom's going to be so jealous. And you're like,
long.
what?
There
I
is something like strangely, it feels like this could be our future. That's what's really weird is I do feel
Well,
like
and
we're
that
headed
was the
towards
point
it.
of Rain. Rain was done, you know, kind of like post 9/11. Like there was a lot of political strife and whatever was going on, right? And so this is like returning, like, okay, we might be back in a similar situation where there's a lot of, you know, contention and all those things. So it plays out in a very interesting way. But just number one, Mike, the number one thing we have to say, do you like long bearded Spider-Man in trench coat, only the mask in his underwear, and that's how he's fighting crime? What do you think of this costume?
I think it's great. It's
It's
so awesome. I
awesome.
love the beard. It's just
It really makes his mouth pop. Like for you would
yeah.
think you would hide it, but no, it's like he gets all these like grimaces and all these like different, you know, facial contortions, but the beard somehow accentuates that. It is unexpected but awesome. I don't know if he's going to shave it throughout the course of the series. We'll see.
I didn't know if I'd be in, to be honest with you, Adam. I was kind of on the fence. I know you, but then I was at Zap Comics and I saw it on the shelf and I couldn't resist. I was like, okay, let me grab it. And it is so good.
Yeah, so if you're neglecting this one, go to your shop and grab it because it came out the 4th of July weekend. So in the States, a lot of people maybe you didn't make it to the store. I was traveling across states and stopping at comic book stores in each state, and none of them had them. Like this issue, they didn't have new issues.
Oh.
They only had back issues, which is usually my dream. But now you got me wanting new issues, and I'm like, oh yeah, we only do pull lists. We don't actually stock new issues on shelves. I'm
Wow.
like,
That's crazy that all these shops have gone that way.
yeah.
That's really funny. Are you reading anything else, Adam? Did you pick up anything else?
No, that's it for now. Those were the two that like I said, I saw the ads for it. I'm like, I'm counting down the days. I'm counting down the days. Other than Armored #2 did come out. So I
It did
picked up my
indeed.
issue a couple weeks back at the comic shop, and I made sure when I grabbed Rain 2, I was like, so I'm still good on my pull list for Armored, right? They're like, oh yeah, yeah, when it comes in, we'll give it to you for #3. So I'm just waiting for issue 3 to hit the shelves.
All right. Well, I picked up two other books. I won't go into full reviews or anything, but if no one is, everyone should be reading these books, and that includes you, Adam. You need to get on Redcoat. Redcoat is by far my favorite new Ghost Machine book. I love Geiger, but Redcoat's so much fun. It needs to be like an HBO TV series. I don't. It's Highlander meets. like the John Adams HBO show. It is so good. I cannot like just look at the back cover here. Look what we're
I mean,
dealing
is
with
it
here.
you? Are you thinking Chris Hemsworth plays Redcoat? Who is playing this part?
That's great casting. That's
Because this is
fantastic
like kind of a
casting.
comedic character, right? Like,
He's comedic. He's a goofball. He's a total failure with it, you know, within the what would you call what were the redcoats? The British from
yeah.
the British Army. He's just trying to escape. He just and then Rook. Rook is just the art in this is unbelievable. In the world there Jeff Johns and Fabok are creating, Jason Fabok. Like look at this tank thing. That's a full a double page spread. And that's like it's basically like a city on wheels or something like
Uh-huh.
that. So awesome.
Wait, I
It
want to tell you this real quick about Ghost Machines. So I talked to my brother recently, and I haven't talked to him in a while. And I caught up and I told him about the podcast. I told him all the stuff I've been doing. And I was like, really been into these Ghost Machine books. He's like, oh, yeah. I went to a store. I went to a signing somewhere of somebody's book, and there was a comic book store attached to it. And I went in and I bought that Ghost Machine book, just that one that was
the
like the
one,
preview
yeah.
of everything. He's like, yeah, it looks like a really cool kind of independent comic thing. I'm like, that's awesome, dude. Because my brother he was back in the day. He read Walking Dead when it first came out, like all those so he finds these kind of like side comics. He's never been a Marvel DC guy, so just
So
here
he's
and there. So
into
I was
it.
like, that's awesome that we're on the same page.
Well, I'm so into these that I got really excited because I'm sure we'll talk about it in another video, but I did a couple signings at these shops and my shop doesn't stock new comics like that many. They do the odd one here and there. I have to pre-order primarily. But it was so cool to see third printings of Redcoat 1 and Rook 1 that I had to grab them. Like I'm just sucker for third and fourth printings, Adam.
Well, and I was looking for the new issue of Geiger, which isn't out yet, because that's the one I'm hooked on. And I saw like a third printing cover for that of number 1 that they had on there, and I
Yes.
was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like,
I couldn't find that one. That one I
oh,
cannot find.
I
So
might
I'll
have
have
to
to keep
grab
an
it
eye
for
out.
you then.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, that's awesome. I'm glad we're getting to reconvene. But we got to get back into the swing of things. There will be
Yes.
new comics coming out next Wednesday. So watch our social media at Wizards Comics, where you'll be able to vote and tell us which of the new comics being released next week we should go buy. We'll be back next Thursday to review them. But thanks so much for checking out this video. And hey, until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.